Are live on Watch Along Wrestling. What's going on out there, guys? It's your boy Tommy on the spot. So great to be back here with you guys on Watch Along Wrestling and to be live with you guys, no less. What's going on out there? We will be live for the remainder of Monday Night Raw. We're going to break down every single piece of Raw that you guys may have missed, and we're going to talk about all things King of the Ring, the return of Sasha Banks, and so much more. If you guys do not know who I am Tommy on the spot. This is my first live stream via the StreamYard app, but I believe that the comment section and the chat is open. I am going to go ahead and just test this out there, and it seems like we already got some people there, so let's see if that is working over in the live chat there. It is. Okay, cool. So live chat's open. If you guys have anything you'd like to say, feel free. I will see it directly into my app as well. Really cool application if you guys are having trouble live streaming because of the changeover that Google's kind of canceled out Google Hangouts, then by all means, StreamYard. Check it out. Live streamers out there, really cool app. Something that my buddy and I have been using on our Disney 101 channel. But tonight, it's all about pro wrestling. It's all about WWE Monday Night Raw. We are about to enter into the final half hour of the show as we record this live. If you guys are obviously on a delay, then we'll be back with you guys a little bit later on. And if you guys are watching on demand or in the archive, so to speak, what's going on? Let me know in the comment section what you thought about Monday Night Raw in total. I feel like so far it's been okay. I really enjoyed the stuff with Sasha Banks at the beginning of the show. I thought that was really good. She came out, she started things out, was pretty honest and said, hey, I didn't feel like I was used to my biggest potential during my during WrestleMania. I was in a tag match. She actually there was some rumors. I believe Ryan Satin broke it about her crying on this side of on the outside of the locker room, and she confirmed it. She said, in fact, that she was crying. She said she did get upset. She said that she was really angry about the way that she was utilized at WrestleMania in a good for nothing tag title match that she said she didn't care about one bit. While Becky Lynch went ahead and main evented the show. So clearly they're building up towards Becky and Sasha at some point. As they're showing us here live at Founders Day, looks like Elias was performing and obviously was attacked by R-Truth. And R-Truth looks like he was able to win the title there on the NFL on Fox. Or is it the NCAA on Fox? Something on Fox. They're clearly building the WWE relationship with Fox, and they're showing some silliness here where R-Truth throwing Drake Maverick into a dunk take, and of course Drake goes face first into the glass, and it says Fox Sports. And they're kind of recapping the idea that at one point R-Truth here, he loses his title to one of the broadcasters here at Fox College Football. So they're continuing to build up the 24/7 title, and what I noticed about this 24/7 title is that it's super popular. Their views on YouTube for everything 24/7 title are by the boatloads. I mean, like millions of views for everything they do 24/7 championship. Everyone is really into it. Everyone continues to be really into it. And it shows here that Elias, at the end of this, did win the belt back from the guy there at Fox College Football and was able to kind of get away with the belt. So that synergy between Fox Sports and WWE is already coming to light here. Just a little more than a month away from WWE's debut on Fox for SmackDown Live. Sarah Schreiber is going to go ahead and interview somebody here. And when she does, I'll break down for you guys everything that you may have missed on the show here. One of the big things as she's interviewing Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, apparently Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode are now a team. This is like the fourth or fifth most random guy that Dolph Ziggler's been in the team with since he kind of came back last year and was with Drew McIntyre for a while. Then he did some stuff with Corbin and Lashley, and now here he is with Bobby Roode. But hey, good to see Bobby Roode back on Raw. These guys won a gauntlet earlier in the night to become the number one contenders for the Tag Team Championship. They will be facing Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins for the Tag Championships. What's interesting about that is that Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins, made official tonight, will also not only be defending the Tag Championships, because every title must be on the line, not only will they be defending the Tag Championships against Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, but they will also be facing off with each other for the World Championship. So the Universal Championship, rather. Sorry. So that's kind of interesting. It'll be cool to see. And, of course, tonight, a rematch. AJ Styles defending the United States Championship against Braun Strowman. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with that, whether it ends up becoming a deal where it's title for title, and you have Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins having all the belts of the company. I'm not sure. But I was here with you guys last week when we were kind of excited and talking about the idea that we didn't know who was going to win that match and who was going to win the tag title match there when it was Rollins and Strowman going up against Gallows and Anderson. And yet, it was Strowman and Rollins that ended up winning the tag titles. So it remains to be seen kind of what happens here. More Street Profits. These guys, I will say, are a really entertaining part of the show. But part of me was really hoping that they'd be a part of the tag gauntlet earlier tonight. They were not. There was 8 teams in this gauntlet, and I'll break down the results here after Montez Ford is finished talking. They're kind of just they've almost become like they're the backstage guys on Raw. They kind of break down the action. They're entertaining as all hell. But at the end of the day, for me, 8 teams on the show, and these guys, they looked like maybe they were starting to tease that they weren't thrilled that they weren't a part of it, or teasing that maybe they were just about to maybe turn and become a little bit more serious, as Angelo Dawkins completely proves me wrong, as he's filled with beads. It looks like he's been hanging out down on Bourbon Street here as Raw emanates live from New Orleans. But in case you guys are wondering about the tag team gauntlet match, it was a gauntlet started with the Viking Raiders defeating the B team. Yes, the B team, go, go, go. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel were on the show. They got destroyed. Then the Viking Raiders defeated Gallows and Anderson. Actually, they were both double disqualification. Sorry. And then that got rid of both teams, which was kind of disappointing. And at that point, it became Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler defeating Lucha House Party, then defeating The Revival, then defeating Ryder and Hawkins, until finally defeating Heavy Machinery to become the number 1 contenders. And right now, they're showing Braun Strowman Raw tag title over his left shoulder coming to the ring, and we're getting ready for the main event of the show. It is going to be Braun Strowman against AJ Styles. So interesting stuff. It'll be interesting to see kind of where they go with this if they decide to give the belt to Strowman. I don't think that's where they're going to go. King of the Ring action also took place on this show earlier tonight. 2 more matches in the first round. It was, let me pull up my notes here. Well, it was Ricochet and Drew McIntyre, which actually, if you're looking for like the match of the night, I will say I thought both matches, if we're being fair, and I know that, it might be sacrilege to say nice things about Baron Corbin, but I thought if we're being fair, I thought both matches of the King of the Ring were actually really good tonight. I thought Ricochet and Drew McIntyre, I don't think those guys could possibly have a bad match. I think that was really good stuff. Swig of water from the Hogan's Beach water bottle. Not sure I have one of those, but I do. Ricochet defeating Drew McIntyre. That was a great match. That's probably the match of the night. If you're going to check out one match, go out every way to check that match out. And then on top of that, later on in the night, Miz and Baron Corbin, they had a pretty good match. Honestly, it was a lot better than you'd think. You don't necessarily hear Miz and Corbin and think that would be a great match, but I actually really enjoyed it. And I think that the Miz is somebody that people are really behind and want to do well, but we're getting to a point now as a really cool Skittles commercial with the New Day just plays here. I don't know if this is just on my feed here on Hulu or if everyone got to see it, but good for the New Day. Getting a little rubski from Skittles, that's a big deal. Good for them. Anyway, so yeah, as I was saying, Baron Corbin gets the win over The Miz. And we're getting to a point where Miz is somebody who's really over. Like, people love The Miz, and they want this guy to do well, but he loses all the time. And, we circle back to the beginning of this year, Royal Rumble, when he gets that big crowning achievement moment with him and Shane McMahon, where the two of them are kind of doing their thing, and the two of them are they got that big win, and they, kind of had that story where they told a story about how The Miz's father was really proud of him, and The Miz's father came in there and told him he loved him for the first time, and it's kind of a cool emotional story. And obviously, we all knew that was going to lead towards Miz and Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, and it led to obviously the monster heel that Shane McMahon has become over this time. But in the process, The Miz really hasn't become that big of a thing. It seems like he's kind of fallen off, but people do love him. People were so into him tonight. And I will say that Corbin being off television from Stomping Grounds until now has at least allowed people to, I think, get a little more like tolerating, or has made him a little more tolerable, and has given him more of that classic heel heat type stuff. Maybe he's not great, but he is someone who I think the crowd really does get behind in terms of just wanting to boo him out of the building. So he has that going for him. So now our King of the Ring matches. For next week, we have 2 semifinal matches. It is going to be Samoa Joe versus Ricochet, which should be very good. We've seen it before, but it should be very, very good. And then Cedric Alexander versus Baron Corbin. So we nailed the entire Raw side. If you go back to my King of the Ring predictions last week, before King of the Ring began on Raw, I gave you my predictions, and we nailed the entire Raw side, guys. We're on fire right now, and we're still leading to Madison Square Garden 2 weeks from tonight. Me live in the building for Ricochet and Cedric Alexander in the main event there and on the Raw semifinals. I'm still thinking that's where they're going, but who knows? I think Corbin got a lot of heat tonight, so who knows? Maybe it will be Corbin and Ricochet there. NXT, a lot of people talking about NXT. They're going to be live on USA. Not sure how I feel about this. I personally love NXT. I think that a 2-hour show is long overdue, but at the same time, I do wonder, what this means, where they're going to go with it, and if this being 2 hours will take away kind of some of the luster of the appeal, so to speak, of the show itself. It is a good, solid 1 hour show right now. It is something that is concise. Anybody can tune into it. 2 hours, that's a big show. And you wonder kind of the roster of NXT, this is going to allow a lot of guys to get some more time on television. But at the same time, will it expose the brand of not being that deep? That remains to be seen. But hey, NXT hasn't let us down yet, right? The takeovers are good. The television's good. Let's see how they do. This is a big, big moment for them. And, Firefly Funhouse. Let me dip out here and see what Bray has going on this week. Bray is in sweater gear today, sweater vest. Oh, it looks like this might be, I believe this is a recap of everything going on for Bray. I will say the Fiend character for Bray Wyatt, this is just a recap here, so I'm not going to dip out. The Fiend character for Bray Wyatt is, in my opinion, very reminiscent of the character of Kane when he first came into WWE. In the fact that he feels unstoppable right now. He feels like no one's going to be able to get anything on him. He's laying out legends right and left. Destroyed Finn Balor, sent him into the abyss. We have not seen Finn Balor since. And it's something where he's done such a good job with his character and has really reinvented himself. So kudos to him. I think he's probably been the breakout star of WWE this year. And he's still doing the Fear is Power stuff. You see him kind of with the clown nose. A lot of stuff that you wouldn't necessarily expect to see kind of on this WWE kind of PG-ish type stuff. But The Fiend is definitely some creepy stuff, but I think the character is awesome. And they're showing some Let Me In stuff. And that was basically just a kind of a video package there, previewing, or I don't know, talking about the Fiend. All right, so here we go. AJ Styles, Braun Strowman, United States Championship. Watch Along Wrestling live streaming this sumbitch for you here on a Monday night, getting you set for the remainder of the week. Great to be back live streaming. We'll probably try to do this next week. No promises with Labor Day next week, but we're gonna be around. So you'll see us. The StreamYard hopefully has worked well. I'll rewatch this afterwards and see. But I've done a couple of test things on this kind of on demand, and the StreamYard has done really well thus far. So they're showing up last week, kind of a review, so to speak, of how Strowman lost his match to AJ Styles last week due to outside interference from the OC. And thus, that is how he got a rematch this week. So far, so good. The team between Rollins and Strowman teaming together, kind of showing each other that mutual respect. I think that Strowman's going to end up losing at Clash of Champions and turning on Rollins. That's just my Monday morning quarterbacking, so to speak. Or I guess not Monday morning quarterbacking. Maybe it's my look-ahead quarterbacking as to where I think this is going to be and where we're going with this. I don't think these guys are for the long haul, but It would be cool if they didn't, if they changed things up a bit and just had this be like a nice mutual respect thing. I always like a good babyface versus babyface mutual respect. I thought they had that with Rollins and AJ, which was a great match at Money in the Bank, a real underrated match that a lot of people don't seem to talk about, that I was in the house for, and I thought it was really good stuff. And I think that if done that way, it can be really good stuff. So, of course, AJ then turned not long after that, so who knows? But here comes Braun Strowman, and we are underway here for the United States Championship. Last week, I had so much fun doing the main event of Raw and coming on here, live commentary, live stream, doing that whole jazz, and ended up really dug that. So that was a lot of fun, and it got me reinvigorated, I guess, to continue to do these live streams and to try to do these each week. And who knows, maybe even a little SmackDown tomorrow night. I'm setting for the air here on Wednesday to head on out to Puerto Rico. So don't know how much time we'll have tomorrow night, but you never know. But yes, Clash of Champions official, Rollins and Strowman against Bobby Lashley and Robert Roode. So they will be both doing double duty at Clash of Champions. Would not be surprised to see the tag match open the show and then their match close the show. I mean, it would make sense to me. Though, of course, part of me would really love to see the King of the Ring finals close the show, but it's glad to see it at least on the pay-per-view. So yeah, I thought Sasha Banks' promo at the beginning of the show was really good. And it's interesting that they've included some stuff about Ronda Rousey back into the show. They talked about how Ronda is going to be a part of Total Divas, which was announced earlier this year in February. She's now the focal point of Total Divas. They have that entire poster, and she's right in the center, even more so than the Bellas at this point. So interesting to see they're keeping Ronda's name out there. Interesting to see that Sasha have kind of come out so against Ronda, kind of like rolled her eyes just at the thought of Ronda. It'd be interesting to see if this ends up with Sasha Banks kind of running roughshod over the entire women's division, becoming a strong heel champion. Then you can bring Ronda back if she wants to come back, if she's ready to come back, as a babyface challenger again. And I think that would actually make a lot of sense to bring Ronda back as a babyface. I think she's a lot more marketable as a babyface. So AJ Styles holding up the United States Championship, looking like he's ready to go here. It'll be interesting to see here if they do decide to go the route of giving Rollins and Strowman every belt. I think that might be a little bit overkill on the Rollins and Strowman. I don't know if we need Braun 2 belts along with Rollins 2 belts. I think that part of the fun there is that tension between the two. But Strowman picks up AJ, tosses him over the top rope, and AJ lands onto the outside of the floor, rolls into the barricade as now Strowman is starting to rev up the engine. He's running around the ring, runs over and bang! Nails Styles with a big forearm. Big shoulder knocks him down. Strowman again running all the way around the ring, getting a little bit more speed here as he's going over towards AJ, and it nails him again with a big shoulder block. Takes down Styles. There's a guy dressed in complete gold, hanging out there. Gold suit, gold belt, looking like he's having the time of his life at ringside. Good for him. Strowman now back into the ring, charging AJ in the corner, but AJ up, kick to the face of Strowman, up and over, hits him with a forearm. Now gets up there. Looks like he's going up to the top. Goes up to the top rope. Goes for the phenomenal forearm, but he's caught. And a big chokeslam from Strowman. Strowman goes for the cover. It's only 2 because AJ gets his foot on the rope. Ever so crafty, that AJ Styles. Styles rolling over to the apron now as Strowman goes, charges him with a big boot and knocks Styles to the ground. And now Strowman and AJ both and now they're going to commercial break. So I guess Raw has given up on the idea that they will not be doing the no commercial breaks during the show anymore. For a while, there was no commercial breaks at all. And for a while, it seemed like the commercial breaks were only taking place in between, which is why you had a lot of gauntlet matches, where you had a lot of 2 out of 3 falls matches. But at the same time, I think now it looks like maybe they're going back and they're getting rid of the idea of doing only one match before a commercial break. And I personally think it's kind of cool. I think it's definitely good. So we'll kind of see how it goes from there. But I'm interested to see where they go with this, and if they do continue to throw commercial breaks and matches. I think the commercial breaks got way out of hand for a while. I think you tuned into Raw and every single match had a commercial break, which I think that, like, from a perspective of if you're watching on a delay or if you're watching on a DVR, you knew you could hit fast forwarding and stream right through the first half of the match and nothing would occur. So I think from that perspective of like each match taking place per segment was fine if they actually gave the matches time. But with not giving the matches more than 5 minutes of time, I think that for a little while there it went up. But now there's been a couple matches tonight where they've had the commercial break in between the matches, and I think that it's actually gone a little bit more smooth, and it makes it at least not feel like you're going to get a super quick match each and every time out. So there is where we're at. So just quick kind of results so far. Again, just to kind of to recap, you had Ricochet with a big victory over Drew McIntyre, and they really built up Drew as he was going to be somebody who was going to win the King of the Ring. He came out, put on the crown, held up they had a scepter, which I thought was awesome. The return to the scepter. They haven't had one of those in a long time. They were building that Drew was kind of the odds-on favorite to go ahead and win the King of the Ring tournament, but he lost his match to Ricochet. And again, that's my match of the night thus far, and I think the match you should go out of your way to check out. If you're looking for like one match, you want one takeaway from Raw, that'd be my choice of the night. From there, I thought Baron Corbin, and I know that a lot of people hate on Baron, but I think Baron and Miz had a good match just because the crowd really seemed into it. And New Orleans is a great town for wrestling, obviously the host of both WrestleMania 30 and WrestleMania 34. Hard to tell kind of what kind of town it is based on those two shows because you have so many people coming in, the great fans from the UK and different fans from all over the world. So I think that kind of can lend to a more energetic crowd because everyone's just so excited to be there. I was there for WrestleMania 30 night after as well. Did not make the trip to WrestleMania 34, but New Orleans, a great city. So much fun because you have everything right there. Bourbon Street is right there. Once the show's over, you can just go on to Bourbon Street. All the wrestling fans will be there. It'll be a gigantic party till pretty much the cows come home, so to speak, especially with the summer still going on here for at least the final week. I can definitely see a big party there and a good time to end Raw. Austin show coming up next with Baker Mayfield. What a get. What a get. Baker Mayfield on the Stone Cold Steve Austin USA show following Raw. Probably the most talked about quarterback here, at least in the offseason, the most talked about team, the Cleveland Browns, as we get ready for the NFL. I saw a little of Austin's show last week. Hard not to just love this guy. Austin's just the man, and if you get a chance, check it out. It's just a fun half hour of stuff, and it's cool to see it on after Raw. Speaking of shows after the main show, we talked about Total Divas earlier. Total Divas will be premiering on, guess when? October 2nd. It's becoming the biggest, most jam-packed night of wrestling ever on a Wednesday night, as it'll be obviously NXT, which is premiering on USA in just about a little more than 3 weeks, I guess, on September 18th. They'll also be head-to-head with AEW, and then following will be the premiere of Total Divas, if that's your jam. And I got no hate on the Total Divas. All right, so we're back here. Strowman and Styles. Styles with a big sleeper on Strowman. Strowman falling down to one knee here. Interesting to see if Strowman's able to get back into this match. But right now, AJ is the aggressor. I kind of would like to see Styles keep the belt here. I like that tension of Strowman coming after Rollins. But I think AJ's a super good United States champion. And I think that him losing the belt here would really take away a lot from the OC, which it seemed like they were really behind just last week and just a couple weeks ago. And now, within a span of a week, if all of them lost their belts, it'd kind of be like, what was the point of this whole thing? Chop block there from AJ, and Strowman is down, falling down almost into the corner. Now Strowman back up onto his feet, grabbing behind his knee. Big kick there from AJ Styles. Another kick to the leg there of Strowman. Strowman hobbling now as he's down to one knee in the middle of the ring. Now really grabbing that hamstring as AJ comes with a forearm. Looks like almost like a forearm to the back of the head of Strowman, as now Strowman is rolling over into his into the back and now rolling over into the ring itself. AJ now off the rope, goes, so almost looks like he was getting ready for a lion's salt. It is! Kind of balanced himself on the second rope and complete moonsault off there. AJ kind of innovative there, and obviously a little homage to Chris Jericho, his old partner, team, what was it, Y2AJ, the brief team in 2016. They've made a shirt together. But only a 2 count as Strowman's able to kick out. AJ now going off the ropes. Oh, big forearm to the back of the head of Strowman. And now Styles looks like he's trying to get Strowman in position for the calf crusher. He does have the calf crusher on. Strowman looks like he's writhing in pain, getting ready to try to grab that bottom rope, but he's way far away from it. Strowman looks like he's digging deep. Really, really selling this well here. You don't see Strowman kind of playing the underdog here a bit and to allow someone to get so much offense on him, but I think he's actually had one of his better matches. Of course, he's in there with AJ Styles, which probably isn't the hardest person to have. But probably you or I could have a halfway decent match with AJ Styles because he'd do a good job getting us through it. But, give it to Strowman. He's hanging in there. Not a bad match here again. Good to see Strowman getting a bit more spotlight. As Strowman now in the calf crusher rises and stares at AJ. Great moment there. Goes for the cover, and AJ kicks out at 2. Now Strowman now getting back up, grabbing that middle rope and bottom rope, helping himself up here is Braun. Trying to get up, but he can't seem to put any sort of power or anything onto that leg. Both guys look like they are completely out of it. Always checking the time I am because I'm such a big fan of the overrun. I want Raw to just randomly start going into 11:05, 11:06. Big shoulder takes down AJ Styles. Another big shoulder takes down AJ, flips him 180 spin. And now AJ is down and on the ring, helping himself to get up. And now Braun Strowman goes to pick up AJ Styles. Looked like he was getting ready for old school snake eyes, Undertaker style, but AJ falls to the back, and Strowman goes shoulder first into the ring post, taking the ref out in the process. Yeah, you're 100% right. It would be quite the Clash of Champions if he's able to win this. I wonder if they're going to do it. They are also defending the tag titles against obviously Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, so that would be very cool. At least it would have all the belts on the line. It could make for a cool poster if nothing else. But referee out here, and this might spell disaster here for Strowman. I could definitely see the OC getting involved. Is now AJ raking the eyes here of Strowman. Going low now on Strowman. Now Strowman falling down to a knee. AJ getting out of the ring, and now looks like he's going for a chair. It'd be interesting to see if Rollins gets involved here and helps his big buddy. Now the official's still down here on the outside of the ring. AJ goes for the chair. Big chair shot to the back of Strowman. AJ now walking around with the chair, playing to the crowd, getting him geared up here for a second chair shot. Oh, but Strowman picks him up. Big power slam, but there's no ref. Crowd cheering. What's going on, Lynette? Thanks for joining us here in the live chat. And here comes the OC, Gallows and Anderson, attacking Strowman from behind, stomping him into the corner. Hello, Lynette. Oh, but Strowman battling back on the OC. Big kick to the midsection. Now he picks up the chair. He's whacking Gallows and Anderson with it. And now Strowman looks over at AJ Styles. He's got the chair. We're getting DQ City. Ref's going to come to right as he hits him. Referee does come to. Sees Braun with the chair. I think that's Chad Patton. Braun trying to say that he didn't use the chair. Is ref going to throw this out? Yeah, no. Not good to see that. And Braun's getting DQ City here on Braun Strowman. Cheap way for AJ to keep the belt. You hate to do a non-finish at the end of Raw, but at least looks like AJ is going to keep the belt here. Now Strowman's going to destroy him, and here he goes. Bang! Big chair shot to the back of AJ Styles. Knocks. Oh, man, Anderson flies off the apron there. Another chair shot over to Gallows. Big chair shot to AJ. Braun going completely nuts. Looks like they're setting up for I could see Rollins getting involved here. Big power slam there to Gallows. So this would suggest that another power slam there to Anderson. This would suggest that AJ Styles will be defending the United States Championship on the Clash of Champions as well, as every title is on the line. So that'll be interesting to see. And now AJ gets picked up here on the shoulder of Braun. It looks like he's about to take a huge power slam to the mat. So Strowman lays all three of these guys out. I wonder if we're getting maybe a U.S. title round 3 next week, no DQ. They're promoting Up Next on the WWE Network right along with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. So I'm sure some folks will be interested in seeing that. And that's Raw. Fade to black. Here comes Stone Cold. So an interesting Raw. Thought it was a good show. I'll give you guys the quick updated results of the show if you were not able to tune in and you're wondering what happened on the show. I'd say the biggest thing on the show is the continued heel turn of Sasha Banks, establishing herself as a bona fide heel, came out and really kind of talked about some of these rumors that were going on in regards to her. She talked about how, the rumors of her being upset at WrestleMania and said, yeah, you're damn right she was upset at WrestleMania. She felt that the tag match was kind of thrown together and she didn't care about the tag titles. It was hard for her to be there and see Charlotte. And she didn't mention Charlotte. She only mentioned Becky Lynch and she only mentioned Ronda Rousey, which got a big eye roll from her, how those guys were in the main event and how she was relegated to kind of a throwaway tag match at WrestleMania and even mentioned the rumor that she was crying on the floor in the locker room and said that was true and said that did happen. They are in New Orleans right now. Yes, they are, Lynette. Yep, that's where Raw emanated from. The host of the Raw after WrestleMania is both 30 and 34. Final appearance of the Ultimate Warrior in that building, actually, for WWE. He passed away suddenly the next morning. But yeah, so Sasha Banks really kind of continued to build up her feud with Natty, and it's good to have her feud with Natty a bit before she gets right into the deal with her and Becky. At least I think so. So that built up to a match later in the evening between her and Natty. From there, we got the Street Profits. They were in the back. They really kind of built up the tag gauntlet match for later in the night. Included 8 teams, did not include the Street Profits. So they continue to kind of be just hype guys right now. They have not been in any action, I don't think, on Raw or SmackDown thus far, your NXT Tag Champs. Ricochet defeated Drew McIntyre, moved on in the King of the Ring quarterfinals. I thought the match was really good. Go out of your way to check that out. Baron Corbin, big win over The Miz. I know some people aren't going to be happy about that. I just feel like they just keep having The Miz lose. But I will say that Corbin did feel a little fresh since he had been off TV, really since Stomping Grounds. So it was the crowd hated him. And, I guess he was there last week. But the crowd absolutely hated him. And but it didn't feel like they were kind of tired of him. It felt like they just legitimately wanted to see The Miz win. And I think this was like one of the first times that it felt like the crowd was just really behind the guy facing Corbin because they wanted to see that guy beat Corbin as opposed to they just didn't want to see Corbin win. So I thought the match was good, but Corbin advances. He'll move on next week to take on Cedric Alexander. They then did the gauntlet that I mentioned earlier, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. They were the team that not only won the gauntlet, but they won 4 straight matches, defeating Lindsay Dorado and Grand Metalik, the Revival, Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, and then lastly, Heavy Machinery. Also involved in the match was the B team, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, the Viking Raiders, and also Gallus Anderson. Viking Raiders, Gallus Anderson got double DQ'd. That's how they got eliminated, which then kind of led to everything else. Rest of the show, Sasha Banks defeated Natalya. I mean, that kind of you would think she would. I think they'll be building the Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch at Clash of Champions. Cedric Alexander defeated Cesaro. Another really good match. They actually went through a commercial break. A couple matches on the show went through a commercial break, so it seems like that whole deal is done. And then end of the show, as we just saw, Braun Strowman got DQ'd, and AJ Styles retained the United States Championship there. So a solid Raw. Let me know what you thought about the show in the comment section below. I will do my best to be on again with you guys real soon. But until next time, everybody, I will see you in the next video.